Now to the impact of our wildfire coverage on California's wine country. In the past 5 years, fires have wiped out neighborhoods in Sonoma County and ruined wineries and resorts in Napa County. And this year has been particularly severe, with fires destroying more than 3,000 buildings. Our news partners at the San Francisco Chronicle have been working on a story to show the impact of the fires on wine country.
Writer J.D. Morris and wine critic Esther Mobley joining us live right now. So J.D., the first question is for you. You found wineries are trying not to let the fires define them. In fact, some are actually expanding.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. One of the clearest examples of that is in Lake County, where Six Sigma Ranch and Winery was surrounded on nearly all sides by wildfires in 2015, including the Valley Fire that was really bad that year. And they evacuated again because of the LNU complex recently, but they're actually still planning to expand. They have a glamping resort with 150 units that's supposed to open in 2022. So a lot of people are still committed to the region for sure.
Oh, I like glamping. Sign me up.
Well, I like Six Sigma, so we're even. So Esther, some of the worst fires happened right as the grapes needed to be picked. So what does that mean for the wineries?
Well, that's really one of the things that distinguish this fire season from past fire seasons. If you recall, some of the other fires that have hit wine country really badly in the last few years have been much later in the season, October, even November. Whereas this year, the fires began in August with those lightning fires that we saw throughout the state. What that meant was that almost none of the grapes had been picked, whereas in the 2017 fires, if you recall the Tubbs fire, almost the entire harvest was already in. And it presents a number of problems for wineries. One is that while there's an active fire, it's a lot harder to just do the daily business of getting into your winery. If it's in an evacuation zone, there's all kinds of health risks for asking your workers to go in there. But then the larger, more insidious threat is wildfire smoke, which can actually ruin the taste of grapes while they're still hanging on the vine. So this year, an unprecedented number of wineries had to deal with the threat of wildfire smoke just because the fires came so early.
So JD, what do the owners say about future fires? Are they starting to deal with some sort of fire fatigue?
I mean, I think it's kind of a mixed reaction. Like we said before, a lot of folks are still very committed to the region, but even in the case of Six Sigma, they did ask themselves, does it make sense to build this before they decided to go ahead and go through it? Certainly fire fatigue, though, I think weighs very heavily on just a lot of your average residents around there. I mean, I talked to one guy who lost his home in the Tubbs fire in Santa Rosa and has rebuilt it. And, he was saying he's really committed to the area. He loves it there, but it's starting to wear him down, with all the repeat fires and evacuations and just the stress of it all. So he is starting to wonder whether it makes sense, to stay there long term and what might get him to leave the county. And I think a lot of other people are asking themselves that same question. So fire fatigue is real.
Esther, final question for you. So the unique threat about these fires, talk a little bit about that, because a lot of these more sought after wines, I mean, they just cannot be made or grown anywhere else.
Right. I mean, Napa Valley wine can only be made in Napa Valley, Sonoma County wine, all of these regions. We love wine and we believe in its power because it actually can taste really different based on where the grapes were grown. And if you go to Napa Valley, and anyone who's been to a wine tasting room there knows that the wineries there take great pride in the very specific physical characteristics of the place where their grapes grow, and the soil impacts the taste of the wine, the climate, the topography, the aspect, the way it's planted. So it's not as if you can just pick up and move these vineyards to any other place. And we all know that a wine from Napa Valley commands a much higher price than a wine from, say, the Central Valley. So a lot really hangs on the way that these specific, limited, confined regions choose to move forward. And I will just say, almost 30 wineries in Napa Valley this year received some form of damage, but that's out of over 500 wineries in Napa County. In Sonoma County, there's even more. We're talking over 1,000 wineries. So the overall supply chain of wine is not affected by these specific fires, and there's still going to be a lot of delicious, great wine from many wineries coming out of the 2020 vintage. But there's a lot of hard questions that all residents and business owners in these areas are grappling with right now.
All right, really great explanation from both of you, JD and Esther. Thanks for joining us. There's a lot more on this included in the story we didn't have time to cover right now, but if you want to read it for yourself, just go to the San Francisco Chronicle website.